Hello and welcome back to Dragon Rider Cryptos. This is the Dragon Rider. Well, we'll do a quick update on the markets and everything's looking green. Alright, we got a bunch of dragons in the sky. Just went through a massive ebb, back in the flow now. Total market cap 150 billion roughly. And Bitcoin dominance at 34. That is not surprising. So you can take a look here, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano, everything is pretty much up. Litecoin, Stellar. Take a quick look at the biggest losers and winners. All right, so biggest gainers, first Bitcoin, Bitcoin Diamond, we got this Vibe Status, Sprouts, Pascal Coin, Bean Cash, one of my favorite little dragons right there. Yeah, I got high hopes for this one. All right, they definitely have a lot of potential, and in my opinion, very undervalued and underrated as well. So let's move on. President Trump, biggest loser in the game here. All right, moving on down. Noble Coin, Peck Coin. They're supposed to be having a new wallet, and in March, supposed to be doing their conversion. So we'll see how that goes. Regal Coin, Swiss Coin, Devora Coin. And there's the rest of these guys down here, Dynamic, EA Coin. So let's get into some news, some tech news. So here we got Foxconn, which is a component production or manufacturing company, very big, talking about getting into the AI R&D area. All right, so AI is real big. AI is serious business, and there's various levels of AI, from your most kind of mundane type AI to actual conscious AI that is actually creating, giving birth, so to speak, to new forms of AI. So come over here and read about this. All right, manufacturing giant Foxconn has said it will make a major investment in artificial intelligence-based R&D as it looks for new business growth opportunities in a cooling global smartphone market. Nikkei report. Okay, so basically, the smartphone um, wave is passing, so to speak, ebbing and flowing. Everything in the universe ebbs and flows. These markets ebb and flow. Your heart ebbs and flows. Everything has a rhythm. This is what they're talking about right here, is basically technology to come out. So new advancements, all right? R&D, research and development. So anyway, these guys are going to go ahead and put 100, what do you call it, 10 billion Taiwan dollars, or 342 million US dollars into this project. Say that they could even put in about 10 billion or more, depending on how it goes. This report is at techcrunch.com. It's right up here in the top, techcrunch.com. So if you come down here a little bit further into the article, they talk about how Apple, how they are a large producer for Apple, as far as the not the data side, but the component side. All right, and how they're essentially losing out on a lot of advancements in technology by staying just in the manufacturing side. So what they're going to do is start developing AI, and here's one type right here. It's like embedded sensors into production line equipment to capture data to feed AI fueled automation development is a key part of the AI R&D plan, with Foxconn saying earlier that it wants to offer advanced manufacturing experiences and services, and competing with the likes of General Electric and Cisco. So anyway, so yeah, they're going to really move into the AI, artificial intelligence market right here. Okay, so come on down here, and it talks about the employees that are making all this AI is going to be replaced by this very AI that they're producing. So it's a bit of an irony, but it is what it is. All right, let's come over here to Ledger. They got an update. Let's go back to the top here. Essentially, there's some malware going around. It's called Man in the Middle. All right, And essentially what it does is goes in and changes the receiving addresses when you're trying to do transaction. So it says beware of the man in the middle. So hardware wallets are regarded as one of the safest means of storing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The USB cold storage device eliminates a sort of attack vector synonymous with being connected to the web. But whenever you use your ledger, essentially you have to plug it in to the into the net. So you open yourself up every time to such vulnerabilities. All right, so Ledger Wallets generate a displayed receive address using JavaScript code running on the host machine. Malware can simply replace the code responsible for generating the receiving address with its own address, causing all future deposits to be sent to the attacker. So this is something to be aware of right here. Okay, you can go down here, read this article as well. It's pretty interesting. They do have some solutions, okay, to avoid succumbing to this attack. There is a means of verifying the receiving address is correct. It gives you an example right here how to go down there. There's a function key or function button right here. And then it goes on to talk about Trezor, how Trezor is using, trying to get around this or trying to protect it from this as well, using 2FA. But again, 2FA is also potentially fallible to very sophisticated technologies and or hackers. Be careful out there, but definitely check this article out if you're using the Trezor or any other kind of hard wallets that might be out there. So let's move on over here, www.dailystar.co.uk. And it's talking about Selfie Pay. I know, my goodness, getting crazy with this. Security fears as facial recognition to set revolutionize payments. Okay, so essentially what they're talking about is they're going to start using your selfie picture as a form of authorization and authentication. So essentially you would just scan your face and you could pay your bills, you could buy items, merchandise, so on and so forth. Customers will be able to pay for their shopping by using a selfie, I guess from April of 2019. So this will be a great benefit to everyone, consumers, retailers, and banks. Okay, I question that in its entirety. Right? Chinese HSBC customers have been happy to flash their faces as their smartphones when paying for stuff in the last 12 months. Or in China, it seems mainly in China at the moment, but China is already in the works with this. It's being implemented. Alibaba is doing some stuff with KFC so they can buy their finger licking chicken. All right, another step in facial recognition, a revolution announced in November by a British startup called Yoti, which plans to trial supermarket app. All right, it goes on to talk more about the Yoti a little bit, but you can come down here. There's a little video you can listen to where this kind of Overwatch group is saying that it might sound cool and very easy to use and make things convenient, but the fact that everything will be able to be accessed by a simple facial recognition process does not guarantee any further security, because you might not be buying anything inside an actual store where they could require you to show actually hard copy of your identification. Many people buy things online, and so just having a picture or some sophisticated equipment that could generate a picture, a copied picture, could potentially be used to access, buy, purchase, and commit fraud. And so just keep an eye out for that. Some more technology coming out. Definitely going to have some effect in society as it's being implemented and adopted. So we come over here, tech giants are the robber barons of our time. So we're talking about technology, cryptocurrencies, all of this stuff. So this is the New York Post. You come down here, America's biggest tech giants are nothing if not popular. Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon rank as some of the most well-liked brands in the world. Pollsters find that 86% of Americans hold a favorable view of Google and 80% share a favorable impression of Amazon. All right, but their growing dominance is giving rise to an insidious trend that we shouldn't so happily accept. All right, monopolize. It's a monopoly. George Soros gave a speech in Davos, Switzerland. There was a lot of talk about that meet or whatever conference in which he attacked Facebook and Google for inducing people to give up their autonomy and driving inequality. He's not wrong. In fact, tech giants are just like a monopolist and robber barons that ruled the American economy a century ago. But while Standard Oil monopoly was as obvious as the smoke belching refineries it controlled, the powers of Facebook, Google, Apple, and Amazon are less transparent, so they're more subversive. So this is a very good article. Gets into talks about J.P. Morgan and the Rockefellers, comparing these monopolistic tech giants to the Rockefellers, these other elitist families, so to speak. All right, you can come down here. Americans have addressed the challenge before in 1911 as the U.S. government broke Standard Oil. Right, talking about breaking up these monopolies because they start having too much control. Right, it's giving you a little bit of history of these Napster, how all these guys came to fruition and how they were able to, in some cases, very quickly took over the market and how they control other markets that they're not even involved with directly by the fact that they control the technology markets in general. All right. And they really talk about how musicians and content creators have been affected by the monopoly of these giants right here, that being able to just kind of dictate prices and contracts and all kinds of other stuff that essentially is, squeezing the gains out of the creators themselves, the content creators themselves. So this is a good article to come check out. It really talks about how how much technology is actually controlled by such a small minority group, which is very, very dangerous, okay? Especially when we're just talking about AI, artificial intelligence, robots, and Big Brother snooping where they shouldn't really be snooping in the first place. So, that being said, come over here, check out these articles, um, keep yourself in the know, so to speak, and stay in the flow and just never give up on yourself. Stay positive, stay focused, keep moving forward, and keep riding those dragons.